We've broken this lesson recap into two parts, so now let's look at the model activity that we did in Lesson 2. We looked at the paper plate models that we had made in the last lesson, and we added lines to them. We added horizontal lines going through the center of our paper plate here, and vertical lines that would also go through the center of the paper plate to the cardstock that was behind the plate. So these went through the center of the wheel behind the plate. We're going to measure the height and co-height as the displacement. Remember that displacement has both positive and negative values as opposed to distance, which is an absolute value. So we're going to measure the displacement from these horizontal and vertical lines through the center of the plate. So here are our horizontal and vertical lines added onto our paper plate model. So now we are measuring height here from the horizontal line up to our marked points. We also note, as we are measuring the co-height function, that our radius here, our co-height at our starting position, was 9 centimeters. When students filled in the charts, they got something that looked like this. They have 0, 2.3 centimeters, 4, 6.5, 8, 9.5, up to 9, which is our radius at 90 degrees at the top, and then on back down through 0 at 180. On the co-height, we started with the full radius at 9 and moved down 8.5, 8, 6.5, 4, 2.3, 0. There seems to be a relationship between these. Let's look at them on the graphs. When I plot my points for the height function, I get a curve that looks like this. It looks much like the curve we made yesterday, but now it's moved down so that it goes through the x-axis. Let's take a look at the co-height. Our co-height curve is also going through the x-axis, but it's going through at 90 and 270 instead of at 0 and 360. In fact, if we shift this whole curve 90 degrees in either direction, it's going to end up looking like our height curve. When we take this curve and shift it 90 degrees, it's going to end up looking like our co-height curve. So this was our interesting discovery from our paper plate model activity today. In closing, we considered why we think we named the new function co-height. We considered how the graphs of these two functions are alike and how they are different. So I want you to think about that and the graphs that we just looked at. You can pause and rewind to do that. We also considered what a negative value of the height function tells us about the location of the passenger car at various positions around the Ferris wheel, and what a negative value of the co-height function tells us about the position of the passenger car. These ideas are going to come up again in the next lesson, where we're going to consider the movement of the stars, moon, and sun.